Jules. What are we doing?
We are doing filmographies.
We doing filmographies?
We doing filmographies.
We doing filmographies. I thought you were putting that beer right there on that laptop.
I almost did.
All right. We are now moving into the second film credit for Billy Crudup.
Well, first off, I'm Jules.
Oh, and I'm Jason.
And we doing filmographies.
We doing filmographies.
We are back. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
In the Billy Crudup Chronicle.
Yep. And another real tour de force performance from Billy Crudup.
Hot off of the blockbuster Sleepers.
He's same year, I believe. 1996 also?
Oh, well, Sleepers was 97.
What?
At least it was released in 90s. Wait, no, it was 96.
It's 96.
Right.
I think they're both 96.
I'm thinking of The Matrix again.
Did you verify that The Matrix is 97? It's not 99?
It's more than likely 99. For some reason. Yeah, you're right. 1996.
Jesus, I keep calling it Everybody Says I Love You. It's Everyone Says I Love You by Woody Allen.
Oh, I call it that too.
The comedy musical.
In fact, that's what I Googled. Everybody Says I Love You.
I tried to illegally download it and got no results.
So that's interesting.
Yes.
Because I rent everything that we watch.
Boy, I sure don't.
I do. I want to contribute. But this movie is not available to rent on any platform.
That's so weird.
Other than Vudu.
Okay. Do you have to rent it on Vudu or is there ads?
I have to rent it.
How much did you pay for this fucking thing?
Well, so that's the good news is it was $3.99 for a high quality stream. Okay. But because it was my first rent, it was 20% off.
Oh.
So it was literally like $3.
Okay.
And I'm thinking like, who's trying to bury this one?
I mean, I think this is considered a lesser Woody Allen picture. The reviews were not super kind.
Not in the Criteria collection?
No. I mean, so are you a Woody Allen fan?
Mm-mm.
I know there are a handful of Woody Allen films that I've seen and I liked. I know my mom really liked Crimes and Misdemeanors, I think.
Okay.
Is that the Martin Landau one? I don't even know. I know I've seen it. I remember firing it up and being like, oh, I'm going to watch this. I hear it's really good. And being like, oh, yeah, I've seen this.
I think I need to reframe that. I don't like Woody Allen. And I think some of his movies are kind of throwaway or a mess. But I like some of the dialogue.
Okay.
And some of the performances. Especially if it's Woody Allen's dialogue coming from Alan Alda. I'm about it.
Fuck, I hate that. I hate that, like, the main characters are Woody Allenified. Like, they're all doing that nebbish Woody Allen impersonation. That was the big thing with, like, Kenneth Branagh and, was it Celebrity? Deconstructing Harry, isn't that, like, a bunch of little Woody Allens, too?
Oh, yes. Edward Norton is definitely doing a Woody Allen in this movie. And it is quite unbearable. There was a Woody Allen movie where he's a director going blind. I liked that one.
I don't even know which one that is.
Yeah, he's like a washed up director, and they're like, "Hey, direct this movie," and he's like, "Okay, but I'm secretly going blind," so he directs the movie blind.
What is that?
Maybe Téa Leoni's in it.
Is this like later period, like 2000?
Woody Allen. Let me see here. Blind movie. It is called Hollywood Ending.
Oh, I have not
from
seen
2002. That. Yep, Téa Leoni, George Hamilton,
Deborah
Messing, Treat
Deborah
Williams,
Messing. This is a fucking horrible cast.
Tiffany Thiessen.
Really?
In a lot of ways,
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it reminds me of Schenectady, New York.
Oh,
in that it's sort of meta.
Okay,
but not as good.
You mean Synecdoche?
Synecdoche?
No, you're right. It is Schenectady.
Is it Schenectady?
It's pronounced Schenectady, but it's spelled Synecdoche.
Which is probably what I called it when I first saw it. But that movie's okay. There's really nobody else. Oh, did he do... Bob Dorian's in there.
Did he do... they do Vicky Cristina Barcelona. I think
he did.
Match Point's pretty good.
Vicky Cristina's pretty dumb. Did you like that?
Pretty dumb? That's the only movie I've watched with my girlfriend in which she was horny afterwards.
Oh.
So it holds...
Javier Bardem.
Yes. So it holds a place in my heart
that
was never replicated again. I thought maybe that was... I've tried to
Johansson,
get
right?
sexy movies off the ground. I think
ScarJo.
And Penelope Cruz.
Cruz, Javier Bardem's wife.
There you go. I don't like Woody Allen movies.
No.
I think it's very interesting that he had like what, a 30-year run where he was a big deal? Because this movie is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And it was still like a movie that people were kind of excited about.
It bombed.
But I mean, it was still like, hey, Woody Allen. I mean, I think before this was Bullets Over Broadway, which I remember renting. And I think that's a musical also, right? I believe so.
Yes, but a more traditional one.
Okay. I hate musicals so much. I always want the songs to go away and it to just be stories. And I remember thinking that while I was watching Bullets Over Broadway.
Well, and especially in this movie, because I guess, he hired the cast and then was like, oh, it's going to be a musical.
Right. I thought that was great. And Drew Barrymore is the only one who that's not her voice.
There's two people.
Oh, there's two.
But I think she's the only one of note. Although I did not think that was Woody Allen singing.
I think it sounded like him, though.
I thought it sounded like a fucking 1940s record. Like, God,
they were all pretty bad singers, I feel like, for the most part.
Yeah.
I actually, when Drew Barrymore is singing in the movie, I was like, I think I'm feeling this. Mm-hmm. She's so young and beautiful, and I feel like the song's actually touching my heart. She's great, and it's not even her.
No, and the bedroom set was god-awful.
Yeah. We didn't do a synopsis for this movie. Let me go ahead and tell you guys what it's about.
Yeah, please.
A New York girl sets her father up with a beautiful woman in a troubled marriage while her stepsister gets engaged.
Now that's a more apt synopsis.
That's good.
But it's just as boring as the movie.
Yeah. And this movie is stacked. The cast is phenomenal.
Oh, man.
Ed Norton, there's a moment where Ed Norton is standing in front of the jewelry store to meet up with Natasha Lyonne to pick out an engagement ring, where I think he looks just like Cooper Hoffman in Licorice Pizza.
Oh.
Which I will throw out there. His bangs ruffle in the breeze just a little bit and makes me think of that kid.
There was a moment in the jewelry store when he's reacting to the prices. Yeah. He's just aghast. And he's got like a real blotchy red neck. I thought was a really good, I don't know if he was doing that on purpose.
He's flabbergasted by the prices.
I thought that was really good, but this...
And then they broke out into song and ruined whatever feeling that you had brewing.
I did like that intro. I liked the mannequins dancing. I liked the old lady and the nurse.
Yeah, that was all right.
It was
the
cute.
Homeless guy.
It was like, this is like La La Land. I can get into this.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either. And then they're in the jewelry store, Neiman Marcus, and they do the Neiman Marcus number. My Baby Don't Care About Jewelry or something.
I have no idea.
Is the name of the song?
I just tuned out every time a song.
And then they really try to do like a musical showpiece.
Yeah.
With dancing and backup guys and.
I didn't find any of the songs remotely likable other than that Drew Barrymore moment.
No, I actually, honestly, I think the standout song for me was Goldie Hawn's number.
At the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where, I mean, it's a song, off the top of my head, I can't think of what it is, but it's like a song. Okay. A lot of these are like songs.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he like wrote them or somebody wrote them for him.
There's some name that's mentioned, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these, like Making Whoopee, that's a song.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But they're done so horribly, you can't tell if they're just maybe borrowing words from popular songs.
That too. Yes. I think Making Whoopee, once we get to that refrain, I'm like, oh, I know this song. Mm-hmm. Maybe I know it from this movie. Because as it turns out, I think I saw this before as like a kid. Possibly in high school.
I'm so sorry.
And I didn't realize it until the sort of end of the second act.
Okay.
When everybody's down on their luck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I remember this. Why do I remember this? And we'll get to that part. Okay. But so yeah, they do the opening Neiman Marcus number, and it's just a fucking dud. Edward Norton's yucking it up, doing his worst Woody Allen. He's dancing on tables.
Yeah.
It I don't know, like the DJ I think is the character.
Natasha Lyonne? Yeah. She's good,
but not maybe in this. She's good, but I don't think the role is good.
Yeah, she's kind of hard to peg her age. I was quite confused by the ages of the children.
Yeah. Natalie Portman seems like
she's 14, I believe. I think she's supposed to be 14. There's
So is she?
Gabby Hoffman also.
Yeah, she must be fresh off of The Professional.
See, I had like a whole weird experience with this because
and Primal Fear for Edward Norton.
Yeah, it might be like right after that
because that's 95. Maybe
that sounds like it'd be 95. The year of maybe Copycat. Also, I was so into Natalie Portman, and I think we're about the same age, me and her.
Yeah,
and I loved her in Beautiful Girls, which I thought was like. Was one of my very favorite movies growing up. Now it's incredibly creepy that an old man was interested in this child that lives next door, but not necessarily
Is that-
romantically, but kind of.
Who's in that? The dude.
The dude, Timothy Hutton.
Timothy, that's the movie I'm thinking of.
Michael
right.
Rappaport.
Yeah, that's like, what is going on here?
Yeah. But I mean, that was my favorite movie for quite a long time.
How are there all of these movies? The Professional was 1994,
Okay.
by the way.
Beautiful Girls must have been right around then, too, because I think I actually saw it in Minneapolis with my sister when I was staying with her while she was in college.
I don't know why I saw that movie, but I did. That was
Girls?
1996. Same year as Everyone Says I
Really?
Love You. Yeah.
Everyone Says I Love You. So bringing my Natalie Portman love baggage to this movie, very strange to see her as a child again.
Yeah.
Now that I am an adult, because she's
Very much a child.
She is the age at which like I had the big crush on her, and now I'm a grown man, and I'm just like, huh. And I remember there was like a moment where they're on the beach.
Yes.
In the swimsuits.
Yes.
And for like 1 second, like I feel like I slipped into childhood again, where I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, what the fuck? No.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. These are little baby children. This is crazy.
Yes.
She's pretty good.
She's okay.
I remember watching her in the scene towards the beginning where the whole family is around, and she's like right behind Ellen Alda.
Standing up and eating a sandwich?
And does she not know what to do in that scene?
Yeah, like there's a chair there. Everybody's eating at the table. She's just standing.
She's got a weird look on her face the whole time.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I felt like she did a pretty good job in the movie.
Yeah.
Gabby Hoffman was pretty good also.
Absolutely. What's the boy's name?
Oh, Lucas Haas.
Lucas Haas.
Oh, my God. He's a wonderful little asshole in this movie.
And him and Natalie Portman reunite in Mars Attack.
Oh, nice.
She's the president's daughter.
I don't like that movie one bit.
It's okay.
Oh, boy. I rewatched it a couple years ago during COVID.
I was confused, I think, because Jack Nicholson plays two characters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? As a youngster when I watched it, but
mind-blowing.
Yes. And the grandfather in this movie, he's Blue.
He's good. Wait, Blue?
From Old School.
Is he really?
Yes.
I don't think he is.
He absolutely is.
Did you verify that?
I did. Yes, sir.
You're my boy, Blue?
You're my boy, Blue.
God, he
looks
was
just as old.
That moment, wow! I wrote it down. What does that say?
Early when he's losing his mind.
No, yeah, when he's like saying he has to go somewhere.
Go to the racetrack.
Go to the racetrack, and they're like, that hasn't been around for 20 years, Grandpa. And he's like, rained out, you say? that line made me laugh quite a bit. I thought like, that was good.
Maid, take him out.
Yeah.
And then she shuffles him off, and then he comes back. I'll be going out now. I liked his funeral scene too, but
yes, that was actually really charming.
That was a very nice number,
and disturbing, and made me uncomfortable, but also amused me.
Was that CGI? The dancing
ghost?
Ash?
I think they probably.
Where he pours out the urn, and the ash comes to life, and it's like a figure, but it's not a person.
Oh,
so maybe they just did some rotoscoping static effect on it.
Oh, I wonder. It doesn't seem like they do CGI.
It would be cutting edge if it was. I'll tell you that much. Probably not, though. I think the budget of this movie was like 20 million, 40 million maybe, and it made 9 in the box office.
I mean, it might have made a little bit of money on home video, but
apparently it's making that voodoo money.
You're the only one that's ever fucking rented.
I had to sign up, and there's no voodoo app on my Amazon TV.
No.
So I had to go online, sign up, and then put an HDMI into the computer to the TV and listen to the speakers off to my right because the audio wouldn't come through the television to watch this movie.
Yeah, what a fun experience for you.
I'm a diehard podcastist.
Do you remember when Natasha Lyonne was like a pretty big thing?
Yeah, because she did that Hick movie, right?
Slums of Beverly Hills.
Slums of Beverly Hills.
That's the one. Okay, that's definitely the one that like launched her.
It did, and now she's in Russian Doll.
Well, but I think she had like a hard decade there.
Yeah,
when she was on drugs or something like that. And
Could
the Russian Doll, I think, was the comeback. Wasn't she in? She was in American Pie also, right?
Oh gosh, really?
I think so.
Oh boy.
I think she had like a 5-year run as like an it girl, like an indie it girl, not.
Oh yeah, well,
I thought that was interesting remembering her little run there, man.
Yeah, I always kind of had a thing for her. I like smoky voices.
Okay.
Hey Dad, I'm your daughter. I was like, I don't know.
What?
That's as close as a replication of her voice as I can do. But yeah, she's in Scary Movie 2, American Pie 2, American Pie, Blade.
She was in Blade?
Blade Trinity, more specifically. She's in all the American Pies, apparently.
Yeah.
On an episode or 2 of New Girl, perhaps. Kate and Leopold.
Ooh, that's supposed to be pretty good.
Pee-wee's Playhouse she was on at some point.
What? Like in the
TV
80s
show?
run?
Yeah.
Really?
86 to 90. Yeah. She was probably a child.
Yeah.
Freeway 2?
Oh, not Freeway. Freeway 2. Freeway is Kiefer Sutherland and Reese Witherspoon, right? It's the Little Red Riding Hood.
I would think so. This movie, she looks violent. It's got a subtitle, Confessions of a Trick Baby.
Oh, man. When did that one come out? What year is that?
The glorious year of 1999.
Oh, really? So this is, okay. Wow.
Vincent Gallo is in that shit.
I wish.
David Alan Grier? Oh, wow. Max Perlich?
You say Max Perlich?
Max Perlich, sorry. John Landis?
Is Max Perlich still alive? I remember he was like in a bunch of stuff and then he got caught buying weed in Central Park, which seems to happen to a lot of people, and then dropped off the face of the earth. I think he was on Homicide: Life on the Street.
He's 54.
Max Perlich is only 54?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would have thought he'd be quite old.
He's in Gleaming the Cube.
Perlich's in Gleaming the Cube?
He's his fucking skater bro who's got the bomb shelter pad.
God, I need to rewatch that.
Fuck.
Man. I really liked Christian Slater for a while, too.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the movie.
So
what are your okay, so Drew Barrymore, very pretty. I think she's good in this.
Yes.
Ed Norton doesn't really propose to her though.
No,
when she
and
eats
that's
the
ring.
ring.
Yeah, they're in the hospital after he puts the ring on a parfait and she just dives right in.
Yep, gobbles it right up.
He's doing his Woody Allen. What are you doing with the parfait?
I thought somebody maybe stole the ring. I didn't possibly think she could have actually eaten it. But sure enough, she did.
They did. They end up at the hospital. They do the x-ray. And I think there's a flub in there where the nurse that turns to the camera actually says a different name than the name tag that's on the other nurse's lapel. It's a fun fact for you.
Good catch.
I got an IMDb.
Yeah, I was going to say, put it on the trivia.
And they do a musical number, Making Whoopee.
Is that when they do Making Whoopee?
That's where they do Making Whoopee.
I don't want to talk about Making Whoopee anymore. Is Carlo Gugino in this? Is that Carlo Gugino in the hospital? I thought I saw.
No. If it is, it's uncredited, and I missed it.
Okay.
But yes, he never actually proposes to her.
No, he never gets to it. And, then
she never says yes.
No, and they just move right on to they're engaged.
We're engaged.
And I actually, isn't that before he gets a chance to propose, which he doesn't end up doing?
No.
They're trying to get on the same page, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're on completely different pages and he backtracks every single thing that he says.
Yes.
I thought that was actually really funny.
Yes.
Actually, that
we're going to have 4 kids. I only want 2. Well, 2's good.
2 is perfect.
4's too many. 4's too many.
I liked that quite a bit.
That was a nice bit. So then, the family rejoices. Alan Alda. I love Alan Alda.
Alan Alda's great.
He's an American treasure.
Yeah. I will not go against you on that.
No.
I can tell that you will fight
if
somebody says anything bad about Alan Alda.
Never watched a lick of MASH.
No.
Don't care to.
I've seen the movie, and I don't think I've seen the show.
But, boy, Alan Alda, man.
Alan Alda or Elliot Gould?
Yes.
Good answer.
I'm Alan Alda. I'm Alan Alda. You're not going to marry...
You went too far.
I did.
Just saying.
I tried to do it, and it didn't work. But saying his name.
No, yeah, I thought that was
that
good.
works fairly well.
I like that.
So, yeah. The one of the things about this movie, and it's probably, I guess, due to the fact that it's a whimsical musical.
That's light on plot?
It's light on plot, and it's hard to nail down a timeline.
Yeah.
The mom's B plot is weird with the
Goldie
reformed.
Hawn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's an integral part, I suppose, but it's kind of
so
out
stupid.
of nowhere.
Oh, God. Okay, so you've got Lucas Haas, who's become a young Republican and says all of the reprehensible things.
Guns, religion.
And then they're making fun of the liberal Democrats because they allow anything and everything.
Right.
And so we're playing both sides.
And they're all Democrats.
Yeah. Except for Lucas Haas.
Right.
And they're all horrified by everything he says. Which leads to one of the only interesting things in this movie. We can go back to the ethically monstrous Woody Allen plot of the movie, but Tim Roth is the most interesting thing in this movie.
God, when he shows up,
he is a wild fucking animal when he goes into that apartment.
Yes.
He is instantly sleazing and fucking his way into everyone and everything, touching and groping everybody. He's just in their space as a criminal just out of prison.
He's neurotic like everybody else, but in a completely different way.
He's out for his, and he's going to get it. And I I mean, he's a scumbag piece of shit.
Yeah,
but
nobody gets behind me.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That's,
that's a real.
Nobody knows what to do. They're all, I'm in front of you. I think
Yeah.
Edward Norton says at one point. But yeah, I mean, so he's the reformed convict that the mother is. I thought she was just doing jail reform because she's talking to the police,
and then she's showing him off to the family,
and then
having a
she's
dinner
like,
party.
It's her birthday.
Oh.
So she invites this convict to come over, and I didn't know it was going to be Tim Roth.
I knew he was in the movie. I forgot about
movie.
him by that point, though.
Yes, and he comes in. Is it at this point? Oh God, no. We must not be in Venice yet.
No, I also at a certain point I was like, has this movie always been in Venice?
Yeah.
What happened?
Because he's like, I live in Paris, and then we're in Venice.
Yeah.
Now, immediately, just boom, we're in Venice. Not getting off the plane. We're in Venice now. And that's after the Tim Roth shit?
I guess, because Tim Roth's thing is he busts Polly Walnuts from The Sopranos and another guy.
And that's fairly late in the movie.
Out of jail, which is also pretty funny also.
That's a good sequence.
It's good. Tim Roth's so good. And like his entire, he's got that very rapey sequence when he's first invited over with Drew Barrymore, where he is just on her.
He's on everybody. He's on the old woman.
But like I think
Edward Norton's mom.
Is that who that is?
Maybe.
He finds poor Drew Barrymore alone out in an area and is just on her in a second.
Yeah, yes.
And it is so gross that they're like, she's into it. Like, that's all it took is for him to be really horny and explain about how bad he wants to fuck her.
Yeah, he's in full-on Pepe Le Pew mode.
Yeah. First kiss, what? Second kiss, yes.
Yeah. What would you do? And Tim Roth's doing his great New York accent.
Yeah.
What would you do if I kissed you right now? You know, you're like, oh my God.
Oh, that's so Ed Norton, kind of out. He's on the outs.
He's on the outs.
Tim Roth now.
And I don't even think we see that. She's just like, oh, I'm not getting married. And Al Nolda's, you're not getting married.
Do they even say it out loud? See, I get so bored
we don't
of
see
these boring
the dump.
movies.
It happens somewhere off camera.
Okay.
All of a sudden, at some point, Goldie Hawn and Al Nolda are like, you're not getting married. I got receipts to prove that you're getting married because of the catering. And she's like, I'm going to run away with Tim Roth.
He's a great guy. And like she slowly discovers that he is a scumbag.
Yes.
Which should not be a surprise.
They go out on a romantic drive.
which is to do the bust out.
To get the bust out of Polly.
The police are tracking them.
I really thought the store heist, I don't know what it was, like a general store?
Yeah, it looked like a corner store.
So it reminded me very much of like Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, sure.
And that whole crime babyface caper sequence. I thought that was fucking great.
Yeah, I was really. I mean, anything with him in it in the movie was pretty A+.
Yeah. So then it shifts, and now we're in Venice.
Yes.
And it's the daughter who is the narrator,
Natasha Lyonne,
the central focus, BJ.
DJ.
Not BJ.
Not BJ.
Not Brian Johnson. So now they're in Venice, and it's just Woody Allen's movie now.
Mm-hmm. Man, I mean, is that worse? Better? It doesn't matter because neither storyline's any good.
It's worse because it's Woody Allen.
And
but
because of the topic, though. Also,
very
the
true.
Subject matter.
It's better because it's more focused.
Check this out, guys. Natasha Lyonne's mother is a therapist. Julia Roberts is one of her patients. The kids drilled a hole in the wall and listened to the therapy sessions. So Natasha Lyonne's character knows everything about Julia Roberts.
Right.
As soon as Woody Allen sees her, is like, she's so beautiful. That's a terrible impression. She's like, listen, I know everything there is to know about her. I'm going to give you all this information so you can basically rape her.
At first, it's just coincidental. That's the woman that I was spying on. She gives him a couple of pointers, but then it gets very specific, and she's taking notes.
Yeah.
When she goes back to New York, because I guess that's where Julia Roberts lives.
Good luck with that timeline.
But she's with her husband, who's the rapist from Prison Break.
Is that he's always a bad guy, right?
Did you notice his dick flopping?
No, but I immediately was like, that guy's a bad guy and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That guy's always a bad guy. He looks okay in this.
Yes. So there's the scene where Woody Allen meets Julia Roberts running.
Oh sure, which is super creepy. And by the way, I've never been a Julia Roberts fan. Really.
No,
she looked gorgeous.
She's
running.
slamming.
She looks. I feel like all of these actresses that were around before I became horny. Well, by the time I became horny, they just didn't register, right?
Yeah, I never thought Julia Roberts was. I thought I always thought she's a fantastic actor.
Sure, yeah.
But I never found her attractive.
No.
I mean, she's a good-looking woman.
I didn't think Drew Barrymore was good-looking either.
Right.
And now, coming back, I'm like, yeah, these women are beautiful. They're next level gorgeous.
And only in a Woody Allen movie could a character like Woody Allen land Julia Roberts.
He's such a disgusting little creep in this movie. There's nothing like sexual about him. But okay, I'm wondering about the context of Woody Allen. Is that the joke? I mean, he knows that he's a weird looking guy who's not remotely good looking.
You know, it all makes sense to me for the first time at the end of the movie when you see not only does Woody Allen do an incredible Groucho Marx impersonation. I mean, incredible. But since the movie centers around that towards the end,
sure,
he must have been a huge fan, and that's what's informing the character of Woody Allen, this irreverent character that's willing and capable of breaking the fourth wall and being completely removed.
Okay,
it just doesn't work when it's not a Marx Brothers movie where everything is fucking madcap and insane.
Yeah,
when everybody's somewhat a semblance of a human character. And you got Woody Allen over here fucking riffing and bebopping and scatting all over the place. It just doesn't work. It never worked for me. And I realize now what he's doing and why it doesn't work.
Okay.
But his Groucho is fucking flawless.
He's,
So he meets Vaughn, Julia Roberts, who's in a marriage that she's not happy with. Mm-hmm. And the daughter's already prepped him. In fact, he's supposed to run into her while jogging.
It's so creepy. It's the level of stalkery.
Well, and then we get this again, very much like a Marx Brothers movie. He runs to the edge of the thing and he's at the water and he's, well, I guess I got to turn around. And she's zigging and he's zagging and somehow they meet and he has a heart attack. And her husband comes up. He's not supposed to be there. He says he's having a heart attack. He's Woody Allen. Everything's a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
And then the husband shows up. So he then runs into her again at the museum because the daughter is like, oh, I know where she's going to be. And I know all of these things about her.
Blow on her neck. She loves that.
Oh, the shoulder blade.
Is it the shoulder blade?
It's in between the shoulder blades. Come on, Jason.
I'm so sorry.
So he meets her at the museum and he knows all about the thing that she likes. And it's hard to tell if he boned up on it or if he actually knew these things because it seems kind of effortless. But it also seems very much like I'm hitting all of the buttons.
He studied this perfectly to manipulate her into a relationship as not the person she thinks he is.
And so this little nebbish goblin somehow lands Julia Roberts in her prime.
Yeah.
And she leaves her husband for him.
Yep, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Right. They go back to New York and they start dating.
And
right?
he's like 60 in real life at this point, I think.
He's definitely married to his daughter, I believe, at this point.
Is he already in the Sunyi pit?
I believe so.
He's a couple years into that. I believe he's in his 60s in this.
Oh,
that's so crazy. You don't
60s?
think so? 60s
is he 100?
No, okay, so it has to be late 50s then. Mid to late 50s.
I guess. Okay, let me see.
I mean, if you tell me Woody Allen is 45 in this, I'll start crying.
That's the vibe I got, to be honest. So he is currently 86. So he was born in 35.
35 plus 50, so 60 years old.
He was 61. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
He's fucking old as hell.
And Julia Roberts is
probably mid, maybe
30s.
Yeah,
yeah, not in her 40s.
No.
She's
God. She's got to be pretty old by now.
I mean, she's like really beautiful.
She still looks good. Movie. She still looks pretty good.
And so they date.
Yeah.
Right. And there's all this other shit happening. I think that must have been it. We break from the main story, go to Venice. The daughter is going to marry an Italian gentleman. At the party. She's like, we're getting married. And he's like, what? And you can't.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. We skipped something super important.
Okay.
Natasha Lyonne is into somebody, I think, at one point.
We first see her on a boat with a dude who looks like he's in his 30s.
Okay.
He's a beefcake.
Okay.
He's got guns.
But next up, around the 46-minute mark in the movie, Natasha Lyonne meet cute somebody in the back of a cab?
No, before that. I'm sorry.
In the airport?
She's in the arms of the beefcake on the gondola. I'll get there. And the gondolier, she then is dating and is going to marry when Woody Allen goes to the party and he runs into Julia Roberts and blows on her shoulders and she's like, I'm going to faint.
Right. And at this point, he's very upset that, but
the daughter is there. This is before that. The daughter is at this party and she's like, I'm going to marry this gondolier. And Woody Allen's like, no, you're not. What are you talking about? And they do a whole routine. And then They go back to New York, and she's at the airport.
Oh.
And she finds her Louis Vuitton bag, although they don't name drop it. I spotted that.
Oh, very good.
And she's like, hey, man, that's my bag. And then this was actually at the point where I texted you, and I was like, is this another one of those movies where he's... where Billy Crudup, the reason we're watching this movie, is going to be in this thing briefly halfway through it?
Sure.
And in fact...
There he is.
There he is. Long hair, right off of Sleepers.
He looks good. It's not that
or before
long,
Sleepers. It could be...
Sure.
It's hard to say when they filmed him, but...
But he's not the sleazy creep that he was in Sleepers.
He's fleshed out.
He looks good.
He looks
like a nice young man. Yeah. Yes. And he sings with her in the back of the car.
Yeah. So
he's got a nice voice. He's effortless.
Because she even says, who needs that other guy? This is my man.
Yeah.
So they get into the cab and they do a number that could be an original, but it also could be a real song.
Sure.
He sings it. He's an angel. She doesn't do anything.
And I'm thinking, man, this is cool. Billy Crudup's her new boyfriend, right?
He's going to be in this movie for the rest of it.
Yep. We're on the Crudup train.
We did it.
Now, I realize that he is gone forever.
Yeah.
When she is into the rapper, right? Is she at like a hip hop party?
But before that, while they're still in the cab, there is a duet.
Okay.
In this cab. Not with DJ, but with the cabbie. The cabbie sings. I'm pretty sure that's a fake beard.
Okay.
It's a big fucking beard.
I do not remember this man
I'm
at
pretty
all.
sure it's a glued on fucking beard to
My
make
eyes
him...
were on Billy.
This dude, he can really enter a movie and turn that fucking movie around.
Billy?
Yes.
40 seconds. Did we get about 40 seconds out of this motherfucker?
You know, the airport scene is probably just under a minute, but the cab scene, it's probably a good 2 or 3 minutes long.
Okay.
You know, he does a nice verse, and then there's a voiceover of the Natasha Lyonne as the cab drives away. That is like, I think that's where she says, who needs marrying that Italian guy? This is my man. No, he's done.
He's gone. She gets like two other guys that she's briefly interested in for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's because I think it's at this point where Tim Roth and Drew Barrymore are doing their thing. We don't see Edward Norton at this point. He's gone.
No, he shows up again at the end.
The subplot for Natalie Portman and Gabby Hoffman.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Abby Hoffman, which I was confusing throughout most of this movie.
Isn't Abby Hoffman the civil rights steal this book?
Yes. So they're sisters, right?
I think so.
Right? Because Natasha Lyonne is Woody Allen and Goldie Hawn's daughter, but the other two and the boy is Alan Alda and Goldie Hawn's kids.
God bless you for tracking it.
So they got a boy that they got a crush on.
There's one boy, there's two girls, and those girls are like, whatever, let's see what happens.
Yeah, like you think this is going to work.
I think it's
they're both
not going to work.
wooing this boy.
Yes.
And there's a funny moment where they actually ask him to be a part of their group, where they're in a deli and the two girls are like trying to get their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
And that reminded me almost like beat for beat, although it's drastically different, of the Sausage King of New York scene from Ferris Bueller, where they're putting on their sunglasses and they're trying to I don't know, it very much rang. And anybody listening to this, they're going to go back and watch both those movies now.
Yeah, get on it.
And they're going to say, that Jules is on something.
I thank him for telling me how to watch this movie on Vudu.
Yes. The only way.
Right, encouraging me to watch this. And then watching Ferris Bueller. Equally great movies. Both of them, the quality of each one, exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yes.
In fact, some might say Ferris Bueller is the weaker of the two by a hair. Just by a hair. But
far less funny.
So they're like, hey, let's hang out because we're on school
vacation?
break.
Yeah, no, they say something about the city being empty.
Well, because Goldie Hawn's birthday is in August. Okay.
This fucking, oh God, this plot is so boring.
Because then it's Halloween.
Yes. What?
Yeah.
When is it Halloween?
Very shortly after the dinner party. They're
wait, and then
it's Halloween.
The little kid sings a song in the werewolf costume at the door.
Well,
is that real? Did I make that up?
No, that's very real. And then the next group of kids are very much doing Chinese.
Oh, the racist outfits. Isn't there a couple racist costumes?
I don't know what the other kid is. Is he like a Nazi?
I felt like a couple other ones came in, and each one of them were like, "Oh, this is not good."
No, it's the werewolf boy. He's outside.
Yeah,
and then the girls. They're doing 2 girls and 1 boy, I believe, doing the Chinaman thing.
Yeah,
they come in. They're invited in. Let's extend this number. This is a good one. And then there's a boy who's maybe German, smoking a cigar or something.
Yeah,
and the mom like, "Oh no," and they close the door on him or some shit. But regardless, so their B plot is that they're trying to date the same boy.
Yeah.
And they're going to the beach, and then it's actually kind of a tender little plot.
Sure.
You know, because I think a credit to Gabby and Natalie Portman.
They're good. They're good kids.
Fine.
Good kids.
The
good
boy's
actresses.
a good boy. He's not like a hunk. Like they're he's a hunk. But
man, he's pretty flat.
He's
He's
no Brad Renfro.
I was going to say.
If they would have secured a Brad Renfro, this movie would have probably won some Academy Awards.
Can I... Once again, I hate this movie. There's a few things I like. When they say that, what is the description of the movie again? They're like, a visitor comes and everything changes.
Tim Roth comes and shakes up everything.
Okay, you know what I was thinking? I was like, I hope the rest of this movie is him torturing them in this house.
That
Maybe
could have
he
very
kills
well
them.
been the case, yeah.
That would have been far more fascinating.
Yeah.
Something where Tim Roth turns it all on its head because all these people are terrible. He's terrible too.
The problem with this movie as a musical, and I think it's very much the same for a lot of more contemporary musicals after what would I would consider the height of musicals, which was like the 50s to the 70s.
Okay, I thought you had a specific movie in mind.
Dancing in the Rain.
Okay.
You know, all those Gene Kelly pictures on up to like West Side Story in the 60s, going into the 70s.
Sure.
And then the genre pretty much died. And then after that, it was these one-offs.
But yeah, from people that grew up with musicals
in the movies,
and love them.
Yes.
And try to mimic them.
Hey, it's the 90s. Let's do a musical.
No, guys.
The problem is that they start with the opening number, which is a nice ensemble of ancillary characters as well as two of the more main characters. And then it goes into the Neiman Marcus bit. Then we do the hospital scene, which, again, is an ensemble piece that doesn't involve any of the main characters. They're there.
I'm really scared you're about to just take me through the whole plot of the movie again.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So then from there, what are the musical numbers? The Billy Crudup number, but these are all like subdued numbers. And that is then the case for the rest of the movie. So it's like you forget that you're watching a musical.
Right.
And then they do the forget about love. Who needs love? Everybody's at their low point. And then we get that rap number. Fuck love. Rapping it up. I don't know.
When did that happen? Who's rapping?
They're just guys.
I don't even remember this sequence.
Oh, you don't? Oh, gosh. So, yes, the daughter, you mentioned it, where she then goes on to the rappers.
Oh, yeah. I remember her going there and realizing as soon as she said something about being interested in this guy. Mm-hmm. I think maybe I was thinking about that.
Alan Alda does, because he's bummed out about the marriage not going through. And then Natalie Portman singing, love stinks, because, you know, the other sister got chosen.
Yeah. And
then it jumps to the rap. And they're not anybody. I thought, I mean, maybe they were rappers because they rapped fairly well. I mean, they were convincing rappers, but they weren't anybody that I was expecting.
Cool Keith.
If it would have been Cool Keith, holy Toledo! It wasn't. It was nobody. And again, that number fizzles.
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh God, they're going to be doing a Natalie Portman, Alan Alda, crescendoing tonight sort of number with the rapping. No,
I think that the musicals you describe have good plots and are interesting.
Well, they're
and
musicals.
Then the music works with that.
True, they're full-fledged musicals.
This is a weak Woody Allen script.
Yes,
and he's like, I'm gonna put some music in here.
Yeah,
and it's just shitty.
But nothing else does that.
Okay.
Until the Goldie Hawn scene.
Yes, the very end of the movie.
So,
which also, can I point out?
Yeah.
What a piece of shit Woody Allen. She's still with Alan Alda at this point, right?
Yes.
He just takes her?
Alan Alda's sick. He can't go to the Marx Brothers feature. Woody Allen's like, I can't go. I'm going to kill myself again or something. And Goldie Hawn's like, well, no, come with me. And at that point, I was like, oh, no.
Yep.
Is she going to leave Alan Alda?
She sure is. And all it took was Woody Allen taking her on a tour of places that they went the first time they fell in love in Venice.
But does she leave him?
Yeah, for sure. After that dance sequence, like that is for sure like their souls rejoining.
I thought it was like they kissed and then they were just like, eh.
You think so?
I
would like that a lot more.
That's the impression that I got.
Like the Boston song. I do not like Woody Allen winning in these movies.
Oh, absolutely not.
He doesn't deserve anything.
Absolutely not. I will say I hated the Marx. There was a Marx Brothers song number where various different people are dressed up as the Marx Brothers, introducing the film festival or whatever.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And they're doing a very good Marx Brothers thing.
Aren't they? Is it a different language though?
It's in French.
Yeah,
they're in France at this point.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of dumb.
Okay,
kind of annoying. Went on for way too long. At this point,
yes.
I thought Goldie Hawn was magical with her mustache. She's got a big cigar and she's doing her. I thought she was doing the business, and it was great. And Woody Allen's Groucho Marx impersonation, fucking flawless.
Oh, you're working that hand, that flawless hand.
I thought that was like, and again, that was the eye-opening moment for me where I finally got Woody Allen.
Okay.
And I realized what he's been doing and why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's everybody says I love, whatever it's called. Anyone says I love you.
Everyone says I love you.
It's no duck soup. Okay. It works for the Marx Brothers because everybody else is like a normie, but they're stereotypical. Oh my lord!
Even if you have if everybody's a straight man, you better have Groucho Marx marching through every scene,
and
you can't have him pop up once in a while.
Right? Exactly. He needs to be the focal point, not just oh boy, I'm dating Julia Roberts and I'm a borderline rapist.
Right? I mean, I think that's the argument.
Right?
With
he's using knowledge of her against her.
I think when she says she's crazy, it's because she's finally gotten everything she wanted, and realized that she doesn't want it.
Right.
I'm crazy. I felt like it was a man writing a line of dialogue for a woman too. Is women, they're crazy.
This is a 61-year-old man writing fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Really, teenage girls. I mean, he doesn't know shit.
Yeah,
and it's apparent he doesn't know anything outside of him. So every man in this movie is him. Yeah. And every woman is like some sort of idea of what he wants women to be as well. God, we're really getting into the weeds on this one.
Listen, do you recommend this movie?
I don't. I will say the Goldie Hawn number.
Okay.
When she starts to float.
Yeah.
It's such a magical moment that this movie did not earn.
No, I know. That was my problem with it when it started happening. I was like, oh, really?
In another movie that earned that, yes.
That might have made your heart sore.
It may have made me weep, to be honest. It may have.
But maybe not with Woody Allen being the character because he's a scumbag.
Right. Because, I slept you around town for hours to find this point. He's manipulating her.
Neither of us having seen La La Land,
right.
Perhaps we can imagine Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone having this floating dance.
And the problem is, if your interpretation is correct, nothing up to this point suggests that she's unhappy with Alan Alda.
No, they seem fine.
They seem perfect.
She's ashamed of being a rich liberal Democrat when he's been a Democrat that's worked for his money.
But he's sick is the worst.
Right. Well,
thing.
He can't be here. And boy, it sure is easy to steal me away.
He can't be here. And this impish moron who's been taking advantage of people is down on his luck. And gosh, what was that cop? The cop, do you remember that? Before they sing. It would have been more appropriate after the number. Because they're talking and, we're dating and you told me about the thing. And then they cut to a shot of a copper.
A Bobby.
On the railing of the bridge that they're underneath, looking down on them, just like kids.
Fuck.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, why? Nothing about what they're doing is even out of the ordinary.
Are you not supposed to be down there?
She's in a gown. He's in a tuxedo.
Yeah.
They're white.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they're not breaking any laws.
They are gypsies.
In the eyes of a Bobby.
Gypsies, they'd be chasing them with sticks.
And so they do their number.
You're not supposed to say gypsy.
No, you're not. Well, in the context of a gypsy, you can. But because some people are gypsies, right? I mean,
yeah.
There are bands.
But I think they're... What?
A band of gypsies.
A band of gypsies?
Yeah.
Well, I think they have a different nationality. Aren't they called the Romas? Roma?
I don't know. Maybe.
And then gypsy's a derogatory term for them?
Could be. But
I think
it could be for them, but I think there's a societal collection that you could consider a gypsy, right? Like a nomad? Like they're just a band of traveling...
I don't think you're supposed to call them that.
Well, maybe not the actual ethnic group, but the idea of like carnival people, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. They kiss. You think they are going to run off together. I think they were just like, hey, we're old.
I'm not invested in my opinion at all. That's just what I got out of the movie.
Because then we come back to the party.
Do we go back to the party?
And everybody's dancing.
I'm about to have a seizure if we keep talking about this movie.
Well, because that's where the daughter finally says, I think I found the man of my dreams.
Who? Natasha Lyonne?
Yes.
Who does she find?
I don't know. She's dancing with somebody dressed like Groucho Marx.
They don't show him?
I thought it was Natalie Portman.
What?
But...
What?
Or no, maybe it was Lucas. I don't know.
Oh, where was I at the end of the... You know what? These movies, they bore me.
Yeah.
And I start drinking.
It's funny.
And I'm just waiting for them to be over.
I start watching them with Callie, and she vanishes at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm in it. I'm in it for the long haul, so I can't go anywhere.
Same.
I would not recommend this movie.
No.
And I'm happy that it's very difficult to find legally without buying the DVD.
Well, I got it in about 10 minutes on the internet.
You did, and I'm glad you did, because this movie doesn't deserve to make any more money.
No more money.
It robbed me.
Yes.
Nobody is good in this movie except Julia Roberts and Alan Alda.
Well, we liked Billy Crudup.
And Billy Crudup. I was thinking if there's anybody before that. Obviously, Billy Crudup is...
Lucas Haas did a good job as like a dick.
He was fine.
Yeah.
I like the joke where they're like, oh, he's got a brain tumor. That's why he's a Republican.
So it was pretty funny, but...
I mean, it's a very liberal joke.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess.
If you've noticed any strange behavior over the last year... Oh, my God.
Oh, I'm sorry. And we didn't touch on the Grandpa's funeral.
The musical number.
The musical number. Which
Time's Up? What is it? What do they say?
Something.
We're all gonna... It's later than you think?
It's later than you think.
Oh, God.
And they're dancing as ghosts.
Yep.
And people can see them. And then the family starts doing a conga line in the background.
That one's really good. That was one of the more lively numbers.
That was. And
the song was good. It hit my heart.
Yes. And it did that musical thing where they're allowed to not be the characters, but they're going with the flow of this whimsical event. And then they never speak on it again.
No.
Right? So it's like a fantasy almost. I loved it. I
really,
absolutely
hit me
loved
in the feels as an almost 40-year-old man. I'll be 40
Didn't do
in like
that,
2
but
months.
that's where I realized that he was blue. Boy blue. My boy blue.
God, I still don't think that's true. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
look it up later.
You better look it up.
Because how many years later would Old School be?
10.
Not long. No, I don't even think 10. Because I was watching that in college in 2003. That was the year that it was big.
7 years? What was this? 96?
Yeah,
7 years. That makes sense. Because he died shortly. I don't know if he died shortly thereafter. He died in the movie. He dies in all of his movies, apparently, because he's old.
He did die in real life. I remember them announcing that.
He died in Old School.
He died in Old School, yes.
Because of the
he's a candle in the wind.
The lubing. The lube wrestling. 2 chicks are lube wrestling.
Why, does he have a heart attack, right?
Yeah, he's just like, hi, he's going to pounce, and he's just frozen.
I think I said candle in the wind. I meant dust in the wind.
Dust in the wind.
Yeah.
Candle in the Wind is not a song.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yeah. Candle in the Wind. Wait, is that
that's the Princess Diana song.
Elton John one? He didn't write it for her, but he reappropriated it for her. Speaking of, have you ever seen that Elton John movie?
No.
Rocket
Man? No.
Oh, man.
You like it?
I did.
I like that guy.
He's doing the songs.
Edgerton. Yeah, which it's supposed to be the opposite of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it very much, I mean, it follows the same template, up, down, blah, blah, but I'm
not
back.
opposed, but I have no interest in watching it. I'd rather watch Tick, Tick, Boom.
Dude, okay. Well.
I like Andrew Garfield.
I think I do too.
Watch Boy A. That's a real bummer. He participates in a murder as like a teenager, like him and another guy kill a young lady, and they get sent to prison reform. And I think his friend kills himself, and then he finally gets released. His identity is kept a secret, and he tries to have a normal life.
Oh, wow.
It's very sad.
I saw him in Spider-Man.
You seen, what is,
Silver Lake? I didn't see that. That's supposed to be...
I was going to try to be funny about that. I saw Under the Silver Lake. I liked that.
That's
that was
supposed
weird.
to be a dog of a movie.
Oh, no, is this dog of a movie bad?
Yeah, it didn't do very well. It didn't do
no,
well.
it did horribly.
It didn't do anything.
There's no way to sell that. It's too
the
long.
opposite of well.
Yeah. No,
horribly.
because it's the follow-up to It Follows. The guy who made that made Under the Silver Lake.
But not like...
No, it's not a sequel.
Okay. Wouldn't that be funny?
It would be.
At the end of the movie, all of a sudden it follows him. He's like, what?
There's lots of good things in Under the Silver Lake. You should watch it. There's a moment where he punches the shit out of like a 12-year-old. It's
Isn't
fucking
there a girl
awesome.
Barking in the pool or something?
There's a bunch of weird stuff, man. There's murders and homeless people in tunnels and secret cults. It's fascinating. Okay. All right, well, I'm Jason.
Oh, I'm Julian.
And this was episode 2. You can tune in next week for Inventing the Abbots.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler, Billy Crudup.
Yes, we'll be doing filmographies.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Good night.